How is it different technically? I suppose.
Or a green screen is just a green screen.
It sort of is, really. I mean, I'm trying to think, was there anything that was slightly different about shooting? I mean, I guess, no, it was the same. I was trying to think, do you remember working with Douglas and we had a lot of green screen props and a lot of, this is where the boat will be, this is where, these props will be or these people, but that's what green screen is, you're imagining where things are going to be and what they're going to do. So no, not really, in the technical aspect of it, no, but of course, different project, different director, different character, different story, and it feels different, yeah. Like I remember, I'm not sort of telling tales out of school, but I remember working with Ian McKellen on The Hobbit, and we started shooting, and the first couple of days we're working with him, although he's on another set, where he's still around, and we can see him, and sometimes we're doing scenes with him, and that kind of thing. But then he I remember not doing a lot with him also, like for 4, 5, 6 months, just not seeing Ian really, or on set, because I'm looking at a tennis ball, or whatever it might be, or just a headshot. And I became really comfortable with the tennis ball because it's like, it's not Ian, and and you get used to it. You click into something, and it's not difficult at all to just reset your head that this tennis ball is a person or whatever, or a wizard. But then he shows up again. So he comes back, 3, 4, 5 months later, and then we start engaging in the scene. And I remember thinking, Christ, it was easier when it was the tennis ball. I mean, now it's Ian. I'm looking up, going, oh shit, that's Ian gone. But yes, I mean, I don't. It can be difficult sometimes, but there's also a joy and an excitement knowing that there's a world being created around you. I mean, it's green from my eyes, but for everyone else who's going to come see it, it's not. It's going to be something really special, hopefully. So, I mean, the only thing, of course, you want to be accurate. Somebody like Dante Rossetti, we can't jump on YouTube and see how he sounded or his real characteristics, we can't really. I mean, there's paintings of him, but that's all we have, and even they might not be so accurate either. So there's license to create inside of that person who existed also. I mean, if tomorrow morning I was playing somebody like, I don't know, I just at the top of my head, I would never play him, but Rory McIlroy, like a golfer. We know how he sounds, we know how his conversation goes, his rhythms, we know how he looks from every conceivable angle. So it would have to be more specific, that there's license with some people to, as an actor, you can take a certain line with some people you can't. So I mean, that just comes down to how accurate you want to be, or how much it matters, I've seen a documentary on Bob Dylan, and I think, was it Charlize Theron played him? So, you can mix things up also, but I think if somebody was going to play me, I want them to look like me, sound like me, and execute the way I was, represent me in a fair or accurate manner. Or would I care? Who's going to play me anyway? I'm going to play myself. I don't think I play more good guys than bad guys, at all. I mean, I think every character I've probably ever played would have a certain darkness to them, or like people do. I think people are complex. There's nobody you're going to meet. It's just all good. There's not a benevolent force that somebody just embodies all of the time. The best people, the greatest people, the kindest, most compassionate people you meet probably have bad days, and they do some pretty bad things, or certainly have done in their life. So I think it's the same. Obviously, the same with characters. I don't think you just have a good person or a bad person. I play Ross Poldark on Poldark, and he might be. He's a force for good. I mean, he gravitates towards helping people, but also he can be an absolute bastard. He can be selfish and horrible, and he can be mean and cruel very quickly. I don't think there's a character played who can't be that way. I'm trying to think. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I can't think of. I would like to think so. Anyway, I'd like to think that there's layers and there's more complexity to the characters that I've played than just being good or bad. I'd like to think there's all the bits in between that are interesting. Being human has always been quite surprising. I still meet people now. I think it's because it's on Netflix. There was a resurgence again, because that must be, I mean, it must be 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, maybe even longer. I can't quite remember. So it's been a while, but I still have people who would come up to me and want to talk about that show more than anything else. You know, at the time, The Hobbit was obviously very popular, but as time goes on, you know, people have kind of, I don't know, they know how to access, I suppose, interviews or trivia, but with Being Human, people still want to talk about it. People are still discovering the show, which is great, you know, because they see actors, you know, like Russell Tovey or Lenore Critchlow doing other projects, and then they hear about Being Human and they come back to it. So that's a show that pops up all the time. And with the younger audience, which is just interesting, you know, people who wouldn't have been old enough to watch the show at the time are watching it, which is, I kind of find quite, which is interesting, you know. She has one for her legs? That sounds way better, like I'd follow that. Sure, I mean, what do I think about the account having its own hair? And not, you know, that's how ridiculous Twitter can be. You know, not surprised is the answer, I suppose. It's obviously, it can be like every tool. It can be a force for good if it's used in the right way. But it can also be, not that this is abuse, but it's kind of silly, right? It's kind of stupid. Like that's the best we get out of that idea, is that we can just laugh about it, but that's it. Like, it runs out of steam very quickly, you know. It is just a joke or something. It can't be, yeah. No, I don't engage in any social media. I don't have any accounts or whatever. I mean, sometimes during a job through, I suppose, the BBC or something, or a Mammoth screen for the Poldark, you might do a Q&A or something, or through a film, but I don't have any personal